Yeah, hello. You're right, gorgeous. How you doing? Yeah, it was good to see you too yesterday. Yeah, you liked my wood, did you? I bet you did, you cheeky girl. Sorry, what? Tom Ford Wood. Who the fuck's Tom Ford? You cheating on me? Word to your mother. My name's Steve. This channel is FRAG30 Imperious, and thank you for tuning in. As always, it's really appreciated. I know you could be doing numerous other things. I don't know, like watching a free runner jump across a building. So thank you for tuning in. I do really appreciate it. So today we're going to be looking at some clones of Tom Ford Oud Wood, which is a fragrance that I'd only actually smelt relatively recently, you know, a few months ago. And I totally got the hype. When I smelt it and I wore it for the day, I saw what the hype was and I really enjoy wearing it, and it's a really enjoyable fragrance. So I will be comparing a couple of clones against the original. The original was a sample I got, as always, from fragrancesamplesuk.com. And today's first sample that I'm going to be looking at, the first clone, is going to be from the house of Rosa Salas, which is a clone house that I've introduced before when I did an Aventus video. And as I mentioned in that video, they sent me a few different samples for me to kind of try it, and it was, so I've not paid for this sample, but the whole point of it was I actually said to them, if you can send me some samples, but I will do an honest review. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. I wouldn't slag it off, but I would say if I sort of didn't enjoy it, or if it didn't really, you know, smell like the original, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, we can take it. So they had confidence, so they sent me some samples. So here I am, kind of doing a review. So their version of Oud Wood is called Valet Boise, or Valet Boise, or Valet Boise, I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. It's I think this is a similar price to the Aventus that I did before, so I think it's about £30 for 50ml, but they do offer different fragrance sample sizes, so I think you can get like 10ml for about £10, etc. Now, what I will say, sorry, as I sniff, you can hear that I have been full of cold, but fortunately I did all the testing earlier in the week when I wasn't sporting a cold, so don't panic, it hasn't, or at least I don't think it's affected my testing abilities. So the Rosa Salas, when you spray this compared to the original, so what I did is I wore the Rosa Salas around my neck, but then I actually put a couple of sprays on my arm to compare to the original, which I also sprayed on this arm. So then I can do a side-by-side comparison throughout the day. Now, what I will say is when you first spray this, the opening, about 5 or 10 minutes, this is a lot smokier than the original. It is smokier than Smoky Smokerson from Smokesville, United States of Smoke. But after about sort of 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, that smokiness does subside. So I don't know how or why, but yeah, it starts really smoky, a lot smokier than the original. And then that subsides. And then, quite frankly, it's really good. And I'm not just saying that, it's really close to the original. It's just got that nice amount of kind of barnyardy oud, but it's not too barnyardy. They've not overdone it on that. But with the woods, and there's not much to say because it is really close to the original, I've got to admit it. Now, to show that I am being subjective, what I will say is in the original I get a slight leathery accord, which this does have, but it's not as prominent. So I do get the barnyardy oudiness from this, which is really similar to the original. I do get the woods that are really similar to the original. And the slight leathery accord that I pick up from the Oud Wood original from Tom Ford is present, but it's not as prominent or as kind of obvious as it is in the original. But aside from that, that's the only real difference that I can see, to be honest. And it performs really well, so it's quite an unexciting review because all I can do is stand here and say, yeah, this is really good. So if you think I'm sort of being biased and subjective, if you go and watch my Aventus video, you'll see that I was a little bit more kind of critical of that one. But this one, it's really hard to be critical, to be honest, because it's a bloody good clone, I've got to say. I must confess, I will admit. So yeah, and performance is good as well. It performs I know a lot of people don't get great performance from the original Tom Ford Oud Wood, but I do, so I must be quite lucky. And this performed similar, if not better, than the original. I could easily get a couple of hours projection. And the thing is that I always find with Oud Wood, it's one of those scents that I just get constant wafts throughout the day. So sometimes I think, hold on, can I smell it? Is it gone? But then I'll get in the car or something like that, and I'll just pick it up. I can get a waft of it. And that happened with this. I got wafts all day, and I could smell it. So at the end of the day, when I got home from work, I could still smell it on me. So the performance was good. So yeah, I easily got a couple of hours projection, and it lasted the full day of working day anyway, about, I don't know, what, 6-7 hours or something like that. So yeah, I can wholeheartedly recommend this as a sort of clone of Oud Wood Tom Ford. There's not much more I can say than that, to be honest. So yeah, so check it out. That is Valet Boise or Valet Boise. So I think it's Valet Boise. Excuse my ignorance. But yeah, check it out from Rosa Salas. It is a pretty good clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. So next up, I'm gonna talk about a fragrance that I've already spoke about kind of once already in a video a long time ago, but it was a little sample and it was kind of not released, but it's recently been released, so I just wanted to kind of highlight it again. And it is Pocketscents.co.uk, and it's their version of Oud Wood. So the packaging is now official and released, and as is the bottle. So you can see that, again, the packaging is really smart and nice. So I must admit, Matt sent me this free of charge, so I've not paid for this bottle or this sample. Now, if you've already seen my Pocketscents.co.uk video, basically Matt was launching potentially 4 new fragrances. Not all of them went. He sent me some samples just to try and get feedback on, and I said, mate, is it okay if I do a little video log and film it and release it on the channel of what I thought about it? And he said, yeah, okay, then let's do it like that. So I did that. So I gave him my honest feedback on those samples, and he's had to tweak them a little bit, or for whatever reasons, and not all of them have made it to kind of into his collection. Because I loved this version so much when I sort of trialed it, he sent me a bottle. So that's why I've got it. Anyway, that's the boring bit. Now, what I will say is I love Matt's version of Oud Wood. Now, if I'm standing here and I'll be critical enough to say that this is slightly different to the original. I said that in my first video, and I'll say it again now. It's not quite as barnyardy. The oud isn't as sort of prominent and strong in this as the original. And the leathery accord that I get in the original Oud Wood, I don't really get much of in this version. But, what I will also say is this version, Matt's version, is slightly sweeter than the original. But I love this for those reasons, because I'm not a big fan of oud, and I really like that this is slightly sweeter than the original. So, even though this is not the best, a direct copy, this is my favourite version of Oud Wood that I've smelled, including the original. So if I'm going to be honest and say, if I had the original Rosa Salas and this, the best clone from the original is the Rosa Salas. But of those 3 versions, the one that I would go for and buy myself is this one. And that's because of me personally. I prefer this because I'm not a big fan of oud, so this isn't as barnyardy, and it's a little bit sweeter. And again, it's not amped up, it's not majorly sweet or too synthetic. It's just that slightly sweet note that you get in Oud Wood is just a little bit more prominent in this. So this is my favourite version of Oud Wood, including the original. So there you go. I think that's quite subjective. I would say this Rosa Salas is the best clone, like for like copy that I've tried. But my favourite version that I've tried is from Pocketscents.co.uk, and it's Matt's version of Oud Wood. So I think that's fair, I think that's subjective, and I don't think you can say I'm being biased because I just really like this version, so screw you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you for the next one. Much love.